Alchemy, a skill in Skyrim with maybe one of the biggest potentials in a whole game. But tell me honestly, how often you really used alchemy in Skyrim for real gameplay purposes, like combat and so on? Well, let's not count alchemy exploits, of course. While having so big amount of different ingredients, its implementation was done so poor and sometimes just flat that in reality alchemy usually ends like a very fast way to earn few hundred septims by clicking a hellish amount of potions and selling them to a merchant in one fell swoop. I'm not even talking about the food, which was used only in cases where you were running out of health and potions and so you ate like 50 cabbages in a row to heal yourself. Food and drinks was just completely useless. But what if I tell you that you can change that all? If I tell you that alchemy can be rebalanced, improved in all possible directions, receive complete new features and make even food and drinks a useful instrument to making yourself stronger? Welcome guys, I'm Scimitar and that's top 6 alchemy mods for Skyrim. Global alchemy improvements, whereas smaller improvements, UI improvements, and even some beautification for potions and poisons. No matter how much you want to change alchemy in your game, making a complete overhaul or just making it more balanced and useful, you will find mods for that here. And the first goes the one and only, huge and glorious, complete alchemy and cooking overhaul. I'm almost sure that you guys heard about this mod at least once. If yes, it is time to tell you why exactly it is so good. If no, well, you came here just in the right time. This mod is really big and all-embracing, so as we still need to show different mods here in this video, I divided its showcase in several parts, briefly highlighting all noticeable features. Remember that the mod itself is much bigger. The basics, ingredients and their effects. More than 100 of new ingredients were added to the game. The amount of ingredients you can loot from plants or as an animal trophies was rebalanced as well and made dynamic to become much more realistic. Properties, strengths, weight and price, all ingredients and their respectable effects were rebalanced to be more useful in every part of alchemy. Many vanilla harvestable things that were cut from the game are restored now as well. There are now also new ways of obtaining the ingredients. For example, you can take humanoid blood and make wide amount of blood-based potions and poisons. Potions and alchemy experience. Alchemy skill is now much more important in making potions, giving much bigger bonus effects to potions you make, opening new badass ingredients combinations, so now it is really useful to level up alchemy skill not only for perks. All potions were balanced in everything, even in tiny details. For example, now potion weight depends on amount of its ingredients, empowered and renamed properly to help you sort them much more easily. And of course, there is a huge amount of absolutely new, badass potions that will help you a lot in the game. Well, for example, take a look on this high-tier magical regeneration potion that increases your magicka pool, magical regeneration and gives a bit of magic resistance at the same time. Or how about this poison that makes enemy mage unable to cast spells for 15 seconds, and that potions and poisons were made without any additional items bonuses to alchemy. The perks. Vanilla alchemy perks? Well, most of them were just useless. Some were not useless but still just static numeric bonuses and nothing more than that. The mod changes the approach in overall, while keeping the skill balanced and not so hard to navigate. It improves overall numeric bonuses, opening new options for harvesting ingredients and new types of mortar and vessels, or even make powerful grenades. Yes, we will get to that very soon. Changing numeric perks like Snake Blood from static bonus to progressive dynamic bonus, or for example, in my opinion it is one of the most useful abilities there, to be able to combine weaker potions into more powerful potions. Alchemy perks. Finally, useful. Alchemical bombs. How about some frost bombs, shock bombs, or just an old good Molotov cocktail? That's one of the most fun parts of the mod. After you will reach decent skill in alchemy, You can make 3 tiers of alchemical bombs of 3 elements, depending on your alchemy skill, and then just throw them into your enemies, making big area of effect elemental damage, applying effects of corresponding element, and moreover, applying some additional effects as well. For example, shock bombs have a chance to stun Dwemer automatons. Fiery bombs just make a huge damage and burn the targets. And if you throw a frost bomb on the enemy that is already out of stamina, this poor guy will just be frozen into solid ice that you can break in pieces. You can also drop the bombs to the ground and later detonate them with any projectiles, making them a great tactical advantage and some sort of trap. Food, drinks and cooking. Vanilla food or drinks were used only in one case: if you are out of potions and you need to restore your health or mana by eating 50 cabbages, yes. Other than that, food was just a useless junk you was always selling. This amazing mod makes not only potions and poisons useful and much more interesting, it rebalances food and drinks as well, making them finally to have sense to eat and drink, and introduces a complete new recipes for new food and drinks that will empower you with useful buffs, and combined with new and improved potions, alchemy and cooking together will be able to give you absolutely noticeable buffs and improve your skills. Food effects does not stack now, so no more 50 cabbages in a row, but instead most of food effects are now much stronger. Just look on that soup with multiple effects. And many meals gives you small but useful buffs for a few in-game hours, and what is more great, you can eat different food and so have multiple buffs from it. Alcohol bonuses stacks, but don't drink too much, as mod introduces an inebriation system that makes you drunk if you drink too much alcohol, blurring your view and make it really hard for you to move and orient. But if you drink, let's say, wisely, that will have positive effect on your speech skill and some other skills. But list of new features does not end here. Complete Alchemy and Cooking Overhaul provides wide amount of another improvements and new features like retorts that making you able to make field alchemy, making potions, poisons and bombs anywhere without alchemical table. New types of mortar and pestles that give up to 20% alchemy bonus, bandages and poultices, which you can apply when you are injured to speed up regeneration process, new types of poisons, waxes, that are very useful in combat with many enemies. They deal a bit lower damage, but lasts up to 10 times longer on your weapon, and that is still not the full list. Much more is awaiting you inside. But what is even more great, almost every major features of this mod can be easily configured in MCM menu. If you want to make a complete overhaul to alchemy and cooking, to make this skill really shine, to transform it to something useful, big and capable, grab this amazing mod for sure. Poisons is the same important part of alchemy as potions are. With decent amount of strong poisons, you can counter strong enemies and kill weaker enemies much faster. But poison system in original game was absolutely UI unfriendly. What does it mean? After you poisoned your weapon, you were simply not able to actually see which poison exactly is now applied. Another wild part is that you was never able to apply poisons several times in a row, even if you had them enough. So after each weapon swing, if you wanted to keep pressure, you have to apply poison again and again. Welcome Poisoning Extended, a simple but lifesaver mod for those who love using poisons. Firstly, it simply makes you see which poison is now applied to the weapon, showing its name. Secondly, you can apply as many poison stacks in a row as you want, and so you don't need to open inventory or quick menu after each swing. You can simply apply 50 stacks of poison and forget about that for the next few battles. And finally, there is now a counter that dynamically shows how many stacks you have on your weapon yet, so you always know when to apply a few more. That's a very simple functionality, but in reality it drastically improves your combat potential and eases your life in overall. Also, all its features, as well as poisoning hotkeys for left hand and right hand weapons, can be tweaked anytime in mod configuration menu. The next two mods are the great choice for those who want to balance and improve alchemy, but don't want to install such a big mod like Complete Alchemy and Cooking Overhaul. Two major disadvantages of vanilla alchemy and potion system are that you was completely unable to manipulate the structure of the potions and poisons. For example, why can't you make instant damage poisons do a bit lower damage, but make the damage lingering, or something similar for healing potion for better tenacity? And I am not even talking about something like fear or frenzy poisons that were becoming simply useless after some level as they were not able to affect anyone. And here dynamic potions and poison saves the day. Mod functionality is simple. In its MCM menu, you can adjust strength and duration of any potion and poison in a game. When you are increasing duration, if a power is weakened and vice versa, but that still makes a huge difference. For example, the fear poison. Let's say there is a tough enemy you are not able to beat now in a fair combat. Usual fear poison effect is stupid. Its duration is about 30 seconds, but it simply can't affect NPC higher than level 20. Now you set its duration 10 times shorter, so it lasts only for 3 seconds, but in return it can affect any enemy. Now, everything you need to do is to prepare several poisons and apply them on your ranged weapon. As a result, you make a shot, wait, make another shot, and bang, enemy is dead and was never able to reach you. Here is another demonstration. My character is now only level 2 and I was attacked by level 15 assassin. Dead end for me in usual case, but not now. Just set lingering health leech poisons effects to stack and enjoy the magic. I make 1 shot, 2, 3 shots and we can see how fast his health is decreasing, making him to die not only from direct damage, but as well from stacking poison damage. That were just a random, rough examples, but you can already see how useful this mod can be. Enjoy! Better Harvesting is a simple mod that does a great thing. In vanilla game, amount of ingredients you was able to pick from plants or animals was always static. But how can you always get 1 flower if you picked up 4 of them? Better Harvesting rebalances amount of ingredients you can find to much more realistic numbers and also making this amount dynamic. Sometimes you find more and sometimes less. A difference from popular mod called Harvest Overhaul is that it covers much bigger amount of plants and animals, and it is also compatible with latest version of unofficial, legendary or special edition patch. Those of you who were attentive enough in the beginning of this video may have noticed that potions and poisons in my game have a beautiful glowing and even changing the colors gradually. Pretty nice view, isn't it? To finish today's video, we need something beautiful, and so welcome Rustic animated potions and poisons. A beautiful retexture mod that makes potions and poisons finally look like a magic substances. All these little folks now not only have great textures, but also have animated glowing. If you want to have better alchemy, why not to have it also more beautiful? That's all for today folks, and I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to share your own thoughts about favorite alchemy mods in comments, and don't forget to enable channel notifications to not miss the new videos. Join our Discord to have gaming and modding discussions, and as always, stay tuned. Scimitar Gaming here, signing out.